So you're asking the question, how much does anyone's effort and free will matter, and how much are we just a program, essentially, of the larger cosmos? Uh, have I understood your question correctly?
Well, it was, how much are we just pawns of the planets?
Mm-hmm.
Then are we individual entities governing our own lives?
Um, the real truth is we're 100% pawns, not governing our own lives. However, that is unhelpful information for anyone on the path, the path, the path. So, that's that's the real truth at the end of the path, is that the entire path has been nothing but an illusion, and you will never understand the forces that even got you on the path. But as Swami Rudrananda said, as long as you experience that there is a you, you should act like there's a you. So you should take self responsibility and try to meaningfully govern your life, because it's otherwise a potentially more haphazard trip straight into the toilet of karma and samskara. So, so, but that's the real truth. So, the whole purpose of things like Jyotish is to allow people to acquire a view of life and a mirror of themselves so that they can meaningfully intervene with themselves in otherwise what is a destiny pattern that it will run its course life after life after life. So even if in the end, this idea of moksha, of liberation from any need to go through the cycle of birth and death and rebirth, even the Vedantic view is you tell the person, dude, it's all an illusion, and he's like, dude, man, cool, I don't exist, my problems are solved, I am now chilling. In practical fact, unless you're already very high, this one instruction is potentially going to be worse than useless, because it's going to fill you up with philosophical conundrums, and it's also going to be a tool of what is known as spiritual bypassing, where people use the fact that it's an illusion as an excuse to not deal with certain aspects of embodied life. So it's better to go on acting like there is a you, and if you want to intervene in your suffering. Now, those who are not experiencing themselves as suffering tremendously, and those who have not heard a teaching, are not going to do that. They're, anyone. There's a saying in India of a 3 lifetime cycle. This is in a book I read. I don't remember which book. So from riches to rags, from rags to penance, from penance back to riches, meaning that in any lifetime when you're doing extremely well, you're very unlikely to wake up out of Maya or samsara, the illusory play of mundane existence. Most people come to some yearning to understand greater forces, and either through prior life memory, but mostly through suffering, even if they have prior life memory too. Most people come to what is termed God or consciousness through some form of suffering. Because otherwise there's not really any pressing need to ask deeper questions. And we see that even amongst people who have an ancillary connection to yoga or to India's wisdom traditions. Most people don't have, even in India, don't have a burning desire to figure out how to escape from samsaric existence, it seems. At least not, I don't know everyone, but that's been my impression from doing Jyotish for 25 years, is most people, it's not what's uppermost in their minds. And even if it is uppermost in someone's mind, to then carry out the practices that are necessary to come to the full lived embodied realization of no self is also very difficult. So In terms of looking at a human being, this question of how much credit can we give any individual for a job well done, the um, especially in a society as effort oriented and as individualistic as America, does it, and those, we could say even how much effort a person will put in is predetermined in a given lifetime. The result they get will show in other combinations in the horoscope. So all people with a Saturn-Mars contact in their horoscope are people of effort, people who experience frustration, and people who make an enormous effort. Whether or not they get an enormous result will depend on other combinations in the horoscope. There are plenty of people like effort, dude, and result, no. Because the sort of legend in America is if you make the effort, you'll get the result. And that's